Record. Okay, so we're now recording. Awesome. This is the first time I record a webinar, so let's see how it works. Cool. So welcome to your first Schoolgirls Club webinar. And today I really wanted to sort of like start the webinar to make this webinar about setting up end results, setting up little objectives that you're going to be working on for the next 4 weeks. So the way that this accountability system is going to work is that I'm going to keep you accountable, and the way we're going to do this is you and I individually, we will have a small call every week. It will be maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And in that call, I will keep you accountable to the end results that you have set yourself up for these next coming four weeks. So the webinar is going to be every 4 weeks. So every 4 weeks, I'm going to ask you to set up new end results, new objectives for the future 4 weeks. Is that clear? Is that clear for everyone? Everyone too? Vanessa is texting me. Okay, she won't be attending the webinar. Okay, cool. So if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand on the chat box. Emily, because I can't see your face. Melissa, you can just, you know, do something like this. Cool. So yeah, so the theme for this webinar is setting up end results. Okay, Emily has a question. Emily, okay, cool, yeah?
Hi, no, I was just confirming that, yeah, sorry, I know that this isn't the best. I'm just using it on my phone, but I should be okay. I'll do that same thing if I want a question, so you'll still be able to see.
Okay, cool. Were you testing the merchandise? Cool. So so you can lower hand. I can do that for you. That's cool. I'm like the master of the universe on this webinar thing. I can mute people, unmute people, lower the hands and everything. Cool. So this webinar is about setting up your end results for the next 4 weeks. Okay. So the end results that I'm asking you to set up for the next 4 weeks are, I'm going to ask you to base them on your Land of Plenty that we did during the workshop. I hope that this Land of Plenty we did, although it was the first time for you, kind of made things clear in terms of the direction that you're taking and what it is that you want to create. I did promise that we would have a one-on-one Land of Plenty session, so we will have to schedule that in. If you can send me your availabilities on the group, that would be great, so we can set it up. But I really don't want to waste time and wait for us to have done that session until for you to set up your end results, because it's really not that complicated. Cool. So I would like you, and we're gonna pick a volunteer to work with today, so that you can have a better idea of how we're gonna do this. But the end results for the next coming 4 weeks, they're gonna be 3 to 4 end results, and I want them to be substantial, but also realistic. And that's just, your end result is going to be your end result. It's going to be specific to you. So I'm sure that, coming from your Land of Plenty, you already have an idea of, oh, okay, in the next couple months, this is what I want to create. And so in order for me to create, this end result, I'm going to have to break it down into monthly end results. So let's let's pick someone. Would someone like to work on an end result that they have for this month, and then I'm gonna help you break it down so that you can break it down into weekly goals and weekly actions that you're gonna take, on which I will keep you accountable. Cool. So who has an end result? No one. No one has an end result or an idea, even if you're not like completely sure of what it is that that you're creating. You did see something in your land of plenty, so so just pick one thing that you saw in your land of plenty, and then we'll break it down together. Cool. Melissa, I'm gonna pick you. Why me?
I knew you were gonna pick me.
Well, you're the only one I can see, so.
The only reason I didn't volunteer was because there's two things that I'm just not sure if it's realistic in a 4-week period. That's
okay.
all.
So what?
So they're very like fixed things. So the first thing is I really need to pass a project management exam because I failed nearly 6 months ago, and I really need to retake it. But yeah, I was gonna say a but. But it is just the commitment of trying to study and maybe rebook that and achieve that by the end of this year. Maybe a little bit unrealistic.
Okay.
So that's why I waited.
Okay, cool. So is that something that's in your land of plenty, or is that something that will take you to your land of plenty?
Yes is the answer. It sounds a bit far-fetched, but it's just I think it leads into, so I had a little bit of problem with my land of plenty as well, but hey, let's put that to the side for the time being. Just being more confident in kind of my skills, so I think that leads into kind of like upskilling myself. Okay. Yeah, because I think that's a big thing at work. I don't feel so confident because I'm not like an Excel savvy person or whatever, so it's just one of the things I keep saying I should do but don't. So I'd quite like to move forward with that.
To get it done. Cool.
Yeah.
So by when do you have to get it done? And by when, I mean there's a time by which you would like to have it done, and then I get that there's also dates in which the tests have been scheduled. So
you can, so it's I took it last year in May, I think, and I'm not sure if it runs out within the year, so I need to do it before then. At the beginning of the year, I said I wanted to study for and pass both exams by the end of this year. So because it's mid-November, I just don't know if that's plausible.
Okay, so cool, but nevertheless, it's an end result. Okay, sure. So let's work with that. And ideally, I'd like you guys to have 3 or 4 end results, and then break these down into weekly actions, weekly goals. Okay, so you want to pass this project management test. Sure. This is it's every year in May, is that right?
Well, I took it in May, so I think so I passed one paper. I need to pass the second one. Okay. And I to be honest, I don't even know. That's how bad I am. I haven't even looked into it properly to see, if it expires or whatever.
Cool. So in these next coming 4 weeks, what do you think? What is obvious to you in terms of getting this end result done?
So I want to look to see upcoming dates for retaking.
Yes.
Number 1.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes at the same time if you wonder why I keep looking down.
Yeah, no problem.
I need to look at the dates of when it's plausible to retake. Mm-hmm. I need to look and see, because I've taken the first paper this year, if there's any discount, because they often offer a first time, how do I say it? Sometimes there's a retake fee and a retake price which might be slightly discounted. So I need to see if that's plausible with the trainer. And then I probably just need to sit there and study, basically. Those are the 3 things.
Yeah. Cool. So in the next 4 coming weeks, I get that there's some kind of unknown, and you need to research a little bit. How long do you think it's going to take you to figure out the dates and pay for your fee and get registered for the next coming test?
The upcoming dates are easy. Like they run them a couple of months, like maybe one a month at least. So you can kind of get a 3-month schedule, so that's not a problem. Okay. Paying for it, I could put it on my credit card, so that's not a problem either if I really want to get it done. And the sticker is depending on how far out the date is or how close the date is, whether it's studying for it basically, so putting some time in kind of creating a schedule maybe to study.
So cool. So this is a great example of an end result. Yes, you have this end result. It's not right now, but it's in the near future, and maybe in a couple of months. And obviously, realistically, you need to give yourself a bit of time to study, and get your things on track. So right now, what was obvious to me and you was there's a bit of research. So I would say, in the next week. For example, by our next accountability call, I will ask you, have you checked the dates of the next upcoming tests? Have you chosen a date in which you will sit the test, and have you registered yourself? Yeah, I think that in 1 week is totally feasible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good. So that end result is a bit forward, but it's cool because by the end of the month you should be registered. You should have your dates. You should be registered, and you should have started studying. I think that's what's really obvious. Yeah. So you can put that in, and so this is what I mean by breaking down. You see, you have this one end result, and you can, even if your end result of passing the test is in a couple of months, you can ask yourself, okay, so by the end of the next 4 weeks, what is it that I want to have achieved in relation to this goal of mine? Yeah.
Okay.
So and then what's obvious is, so I need to research a date, I need to register, and I need to start studying. Cool. So then for the first week we can say, okay, I'm gonna ask you, Melissa, have you registered? Have you picked your dates? And then week 2, I'm gonna ask you, so have you started studying? And you can set that up for yourself. Maybe week 2, 3, and 4, you're going to do maybe 2 hours of studying every week.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe your next obvious step is to buy a book on the subject, and every week take 2 hours, and so yeah, exactly. So you're going to do that for 3 to 4 bigger end results. So what we've dealt with right now is just 1.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes? Yes. Cool. So, awesome. So Emily, do you have an end result that maybe you're not completely sure of, but you'd like to, because we have time, because you guys are only 2 today. So would you like me to work with you on an end result, perhaps that you're not completely sure of?
Yeah, so I've always been quite passionate about mental health, and I feel like a lot of the jobs that I've done over the last few years, I've enjoyed, but I haven't really had like a real passion for what I'm doing. So in my Lands of Plenty, I saw myself doing something like within, that sort of area, and also maybe something to do with kids as well, like working with children perhaps. So I haven't got an exact pinpoint exactly what I want to do, but something combining those 2 things together, would be, I think, like the right direction for me at the moment. But yeah, I haven't really like fully developed an idea of what that looks like just yet, but that's kind of what I got when I last did it.
That's what you got in your Land of Plenty.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's cool, and it's and I like the difference between you and Melissa, where Melissa's end result was like super specific and Emily's end result is like out there.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Hey, so and the great thing about Land of Plenty is you have this big end result that you want to achieve, and then, you know, with the accountability structure, it's about breaking it down into digestible pieces and little things that you can do every week that don't scare you. You know, it's not like, oh my God, there's this thing that I want to do and I have no idea, you know, how to start. So in terms of the next coming 4 weeks, what's obvious to you, Emily, about you know, what you'd like to where would you like to be in relation to that end result of working in mental health?
I think at a moment for like next month, it would just be planning out exactly, like not exactly, but just developing ideas about what that could look like, because I understand that, I understand that, you know, it's a very long term, like that is very much a long term thing. It's not a short term thing. So it's more like, like that would be like a year's goal, like that would be a, you know, like a long thing. But I think it's more just thinking about what sort of steps there I would need to take in order to approach going into that sort of area, do some research into what sort of roles there are available within that, and just just have a look around and see what's out there at the moment for mental health and children, and see if there's anything that I feel you know, I could do.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. So when I say what's obvious to me, and instead of going, I spoke a lot about intuition in the workshop, and I really encourage you to approach your Land of Plenty from an intuitive perspective, because you got your Land of Plenty from intuition. And so it's kind of easy to get lost. Oh my God, I have this big end result from my Land of Plenty, and then fall back into the very rational, logical way of going about making something happen. And sometimes, many times, the logical, rational way to go about something is actually not the best way, or not the fastest way, or not. It's just not your way. You see, so something could work for someone, but it's just not true for you. It's not going to be your path. So yeah, I really encourage you to look at the steps that you're going to take from a very intuitive perspective. And so when I say what's obvious to me, I'm just sort of like being open and in receiving what you're telling me, receiving the information you're giving me. And what's obvious to me is you need to have your session with me on your Land of Plenty.
Yes. So I could develop it more. Okay, excellent. Well, yes. That's one of my goals for the next few weeks. So
for example, for you know, week 1 or week 2, one of your steps is to have your session with Chloe on Land of Plenty. And then that will make things more clear for you in terms of what is it that you're doing in mental health? What is it that, you know, where is it? Kids, what about kids? What are you doing with kids, you know? So yeah, your obvious next step is to have the Land of Plenty session with me, definitely. So cool. And then, you know, and then you can make it up, you know. I'm not here to tell you what it is that you need to do every week so that you get to your end result. I really invite you to be intuitive about it and to just receive your own wisdom about how you're gonna go, how you're gonna get there. Yeah. So cool. So yeah, for week 1 or week 2, I'd say have session with Chloe in your weekly goals. And then for, week 2, week 3, week 4, maybe, and that's really up to you, but maybe do a bit of research in terms of, jobs in the mental health or the different branches of it. What is it that attracts you? What is it that you're interested in? I don't know I have no idea what your background is and things like that. So perhaps there is some kind of diploma that you need to get, or I don't know. It's really up to you to make it up.
Yeah.
Make up your own way of getting to your end result, because there's many different ways of getting to one end result. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Awesome. So that would be one end result, this working in mental health or working with kids. So I'd like you to have 3 to 4, so that you can have, every week there is something that you're doing, and you can work on different things at the same time without necessarily getting overwhelmed by it. Yeah. Cool. That's great. Is that clear for you guys in terms of, having an end result and then breaking it down into weekly or even daily actions? Yeah. You can show your hand. Or you can...
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Let me look at my notes. Am I missing something? Cool. So this accountability group, the Cool Girls Club, is really about creating a community and also creating support between each other and just being there, being a stand for each other, for each other's end results. So I'm a stand for Melissa getting her project management diploma, and I'm also a stand for Emily working in mental health and then discovering her path in that career branch. And so I'm going to ask you to post your, once you've done the breakdown of your end results, I'm going to ask you to post them on the Facebook group. You can't post freely, but I have to approve your post, so just post and then I'll just approve them. And then everyone can see, oh, Melissa is creating this, and oh, Emily is creating that. And also it creates a cool network, because if I know something that can be of use to Emily in terms of mental health, I can be like, Emily, I heard of a job and I think you should apply, or I have a contact, or so it's also a network. So we're being there for each other, and we're being a stand for everyone to create their end results. But we're also there to share what we are about and what it is that we are creating out there in the world, expressing ourselves, basically. I really want the Cool Girls Club to be a place where we can be ourselves and we can just, just be. I really want it to be a place where we're not ashamed of expressing who we are, and of also sharing where we're going and what it is that we're creating. If your thing is to open a strip club, then that's your thing. And so it's really a non-judgmental space. It's just really, you're there to create the life that you love, and we're all here to support each other in doing that. So yeah, please share your breakdown. I'd like you to share it like this, like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And then, by the end of the 4 weeks, this is what I want to get. And this is the breakdown: week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And then also that really helps me, because when I have a call with you, then I can look at what is it that you wrote. And I can keep you accountable on what it is that you decided that you were going to do. Yeah. Yes. So the weekly calls, the way we're going to do this is, I'd like you to send me your availabilities in terms of day and time of the week. And I'd like it to be the same day for the same person at the same time. You know, so for example, every Friday, I have a call at noon with Vanessa. And I know that every Friday I have my call at noon with Vanessa. And it just, you know, so that we're not chasing each other all the time. Oh, can you do this time? Can you do that time? Oh, I'm not free this day. I'm not free that day. So just pick a day in which you are available and it's a good time for you to talk. For me, my availability right now, I'm in the US, so I'm on holiday until the 25th, but I'm going to be in the woods starting from Wednesday. So I'm not sure what the Wi-Fi situation is going to be. So we can have our first calls this coming week, so starting tomorrow. And then from next week, I will be available starting from 6:30 p.m. Every day except Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because Friday I have Vanessa, and then Saturday, Sunday, I always have things planned, workshops, my workshops, other people's workshops, traveling, this, that. So yeah, choose a weekday after 6:30. I can also do lunchtime from 12 to 2, somewhere between 12 to 2. So yeah, that's what it is. And for your coaching session, your Land of Plenty session, that will be about an hour and a half. So yeah, that will most probably be during the weekend or after 6:30 during the week. Yeah. So we have some time because I thought more people were going to show up today, but since it's only you two guys, you're lucky. You get to spend 30 more minutes with my undenied attention. So do you have any questions with regards to the structure, with regards to the session, with regards to the accountability? Does anybody have any questions? Emily.
I have a question about the calls. Are we meant to have, so is it just literally to go through our actions and to just say what we've done to complete them, or would we need to think of like new action points for them to discuss? Or
yeah. So basically, when I have a call with Vanessa, for example, Vanessa has to start her fashion collection. Okay, so and her for this week, her action was to go to the market and check out, go to the fashion market and check out some textiles and check out some fabrics and embroideries and things like that. So when I have a call with her, I'll be like, hey Vanessa, you said you were gonna go to this market and choose some fabrics and things like that. Have you done that? And so she can say, yes, I have done that, and this is what I've created. I found amazing fabrics and it was awesome, and I bought fabrics and I bought embroideries and borders and things like that, and I brought everything home and I started working on my designs and everything is cool. And then some other weeks she'll be like, no man, I haven't done shit. and
yeah,
and it's okay, but I'm here to remind her that this is what she said she wanted to do, and this is what she said she was going to do for this week. So I'm not there to reprimand her and punish her or anything, but I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, and what happened? Why didn't you do it? And sometimes it will be, I was busy at work and I didn't have time or whatever. And sometimes it will be like, I'm just not motivated. I'm not feeling well. I'm procrastinating, whatever. Yeah. Is that clear, Emily? Or did you have?
Yeah, that is. Thanks for that. Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Melissa, any questions?
Sorry. Oh la la. Sorry. No, I don't think so. I think it's quite self-explanatory. I just need to find a time, story of everybody's life, that we can have our call, basically.
Yes.
Because I travel after work a little bit, so sometimes I get home a little bit late. So it's just finding an ideal day that I can dedicate some time. Because also sometimes I work late unexpectedly, but it's okay. I can work it out.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, the calls are not meant to be long. They're not meant to get in the way of you creating stuff. They're just meant to be 10, 15 minutes. They're not coaching calls. So I'm not going to go like, oh my God, Melissa, why didn't you do what you said you were going to do? And, this is more like, that's why I've set up the webinars so that we can talk about, what's stopping us and all that stuff. But calls are supposed to be 10, 15 minutes. If you really want to lash out and I know some people do when they had a particularly difficult week and they've achieved nothing, that's cool. If I as a coach, if I feel like there's something that if there is something obvious to me in terms of your end result, or in terms of like what's going on with you, why you're not doing what you said you were going to do, then I will say it, and just let you think about that. But I'm not there to, to really go deep into that. What else? Yes, also something interesting is that you'll see that as you go towards your end result, things can change. Yeah. So you made a plan and then, but sometimes the plan changes. Sometimes you've created things very, very fast and you were not expecting that. So if you are creating things really, really fast, then you can add things to your weekly goals, and you can just, edit your post and or add a comment and say, hey, I've done this, that. I'm adding this for this week. And you can, tweak things. I mean, it's not because you said, oh my God, I have to do this. Obviously, I will keep you accountable on that. But life is life. Things change. You might also discover new information about your end result that you didn't know before, which changes your plan, which makes it that you have to change your plan. So that's cool. There's a certain flexibility. But at the end of the 4 weeks, you should be where you want it to be at the end of the 4 weeks. Yeah. What else? Let me check my little notes. Yeah, for the Land of Plenty sessions, please text me. And we don't need to put that on the group. You can just text me privately, and then we'll arrange something. That's it for today. That was a very quick one, a lot quicker than what I expected. I'm happy to stay here for another 20 minutes if you guys want to talk about something, if you guys have questions even regarding your Land of Plenties. I'm just here.
Yeah, actually, I suppose one thing that the contrast between mine and Melissa's goals there is that obviously you have got short-term ones that have like a determined factor of the end, like I want to pass a certain course, and then you have like the bigger ones, and it's just managing those longer-term ones with the shorter ones. Like I have a test that I have to take tomorrow, and that's been my main priority for like the past week, so I haven't had really a chance to even think about like when we had the last session, to be honest. So it's just obviously it's a balance between those two, and how do you balance that?
So that's a good question, and actually once we do our Land of Plenty session, I get that it will be a lot more obvious to you, because your goals are going to be a lot more specific. So even the long-term ones, I like specific goals because that just really helps me be more focused, and instead of being overwhelmed by the endless possibility. So so yeah, having your Land of Plenty session and setting up more specific and results that are more specific is really going to help you out. And then in terms of how you break that down and how you manage that, well, you know, I've asked you to have 3 to 4 end results for the month. You know, one can be in relation to a long-term thing. One can be something like Melissa, oh my God, I have a test next month, I need to get this done. You know, I really, really encourage you to listen to your intuition, and to just, you know, close your eyes and take a deep breath and just sort of like take yourself back to your Land of Plenty. Just trust yourself, trust the process, and take, you know, there's a very good quote from my mentor that he always tells me: there is nothing to do, only action to take. So I am someone who gets very overwhelmed, and I tend to do a million things at the same time. And but actually I don't need to, because in relation to a particular end result, there is an obvious action for me to take, not for me to get busy doing a million things that I think are necessary in order to get to my end results. Yeah. So that's why the accountability structure is pretty cool, because it really helps you narrow down, okay, what's important right now. And you know, I'm part of an accountability structure, and I have some goals in my Land of Plenty that I'm not really using the accountability structure for. And then I have some other goals from my Land of Plenty that you know, if you look at my weekly goals for the accountability structure, it's all about the Cool Girls Club. It's all about coaching. It's all about getting my website done. It's very, very business oriented. So but that was obvious to me that right now I need to focus on that. So that's why I'm saying, really just listen to your intuition and just see what is important right now for you. What is obvious to you that you need to focus on at this stage. Yeah. And you know, you have many, many, many months in your life, and you don't have to get everything done in one accountability round. Like, you're not going to get everything done. So it's really it's on you to listen to your intuition and just receive what's obvious in terms of, okay, what is it that I need to focus on right now? Yeah, that's it. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that was really useful, actually. Thanks. The part that you mentioned about you ended up doing, like, you know, you're the type of person who does a lot of things at one time. I think I can empathize with that a bit as well, where you're always busy doing things, and then it's not really, you know, going towards like one singular thing. So yeah, that's really useful. And yeah, there are many months, so space yourself out. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I have what end result from Land of Plenty can I use? Well, I can use the Cool Girls Club. Like, for me in my Land of Plenty, the Cool Girls Club is raising consciousness between London and India. Yeah, that's a big fucking end result. Yeah, and for me, a Land of Plenty is about 1 year. So every time I do a Land of Plenty, I know that you know, this is what I'm aiming to create in about a year. Yeah, and when I do a new Land of Plenty, for whatever reason, if something still if I haven't achieved something and it's still true for me, it will stay there. So I trust that, you know, if I don't have it done by the end of the year, oh my God, I've lost that end result, it's not gonna come up for me anymore. Sometimes it does disappear, and I get that it's obvious for me to move on, and whatever I created, I just complete on, and I'm happy with wherever I got. And then some end results I've been carrying over, you know, from one Land of Plenty to another, and they evolve as well, because based on whatever I've created in that year, my end result evolves a little bit, takes me into a different direction. So for example, for the Cool Girls Club, you know, I have a big vision, but I have to start somewhere. So the accountability structure really helps me focus on sizable, you know, bite-size actions that I can take that will eventually take me to that bigger end result. And yeah, I'm just taking my time because I could be doing a million things. I'm like that, you know, my personality is just like all over the place and excited and overwhelmed, and not very focused and very much scattered, especially when you have different end results. It can get a little bit, you know, messy in your head. So, and, you know, I have many other end results. I have like about 8 or 9 end results in my Land of Plenty. And for the last 3 accountability rounds, it's been all about the Cool Girls Club. There's been a bit about traveling, but that's it really. So I'm just like, okay, this is what is obvious to me, that I need to focus on that right now. There's a lot of things for me to do in relation to the Cool Girls Club. I also have a travel blog. So, you know, there's been on a weekly basis, I have it that I want to write a blog article every week. I haven't done that in the last 3 weeks. But what really became obvious was that, well, I was being really focused on the Cool Girls Club. I ran the workshop. I created the Facebook group. I also sort of like revamped my products, and I had to establish some logistical structures around the Cool Girls Club so that it runs. You see. So that's really that. It's about, okay, so this month I'm going to be focusing on the Cool Girls Club. I don't know about next month, but I'm just trusting the structure, the process, the universe, trusting myself as well. Also, you know, be aware of what the things that you're avoiding. So perhaps you have an end result that you're avoiding, and you're avoiding using this structure, the accountability structure, to make it happen. So just be aware of that. And even if it's something that perhaps you're not sure of, you know, there's this end result, but you don't really know where this is taking you, then just let me know, and we can have a chat about it, and we can see whether this is something that's true for you, or this is something that, you know, you should not really focus on at this point. So cool. I'm gonna ask you to post your weekly goals by the end of tomorrow, so by Monday evening, so that we can just start our accountability structure right on, and we don't waste any precious time. So yeah, so by tomorrow evening, if I can have everyone's breakdowns and result breakdowns for the next coming 4 weeks, so that we can just jump right in. Cool.
Wait, another quick question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
For the ones that we're gonna post for tomorrow, how many goals is it that we're supposed to have? 3 to 4.
So yeah, I would like you to see, you ask yourself this question by the end of the month, you know, in 4 weeks time, where do I want to be in relation to you know, in relation to the mental health career. Okay, so the mental health career is one end result.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that was just that was one. So 4 action points or whatever X amount for each singular goal. Okay, okay, all right, great.
So yeah,
and I need to think of. Well, I do have a few others as well, actually. Like when you were mentioning that the other things that you're juggling as well. So, but obviously each month you focus, you know, on whichever ones you can up priorities, basically.
Yeah, whichever ones you feel like you need to focus on at this point. Like for example, I have the travel blog. Yeah, I have the Cool Girls Club, and I have a relationship goal. I have buying a house goal. You know, I have different goals from my Land of Plenty. But for example, I'll give you my example. Yeah, so it's a little bit more clear. For this accountability round, my end result. So I actually noted. I have noted them yesterday. Cool Girls Club, set up next workshop. Have sessions with the cool girls. Yeah, that's what I need to do. At the end of the 4 weeks, at the end of this round, I need my workshop to be set up. Yeah, and I need to have done all my sessions with you guys. Yeah, so if I break down, and this is so let's say this is 2 end results. Yeah, so if I break it down by weeks, setting up the workshop, I know that first I need to find a venue. Yeah. 2, I need to book the venue. I need to write a pitch on Eventbrite or something like that, and then I need to market it. Yeah. So I already have 4 actions that I need to that I'm gonna need to take in order to make the workshop happen by the end of the month. Yeah. And in terms of having session with you guys, well, that's kind of an easier thing. I could have it done all in 1 week, or I could spread it out and say like, okay, every week I'm gonna have a session with one of the cool girls, and then by the end of the month I will be done with the sessions. Yeah. I have the blog. By the end of the month, I would like to have my website reorganized. Yeah, and by reorganizing the website, that's my end result for the end of the month. On a weekly basis, what does that look like? Well, there's a bunch of posts that are in my website that I don't need, and I need to clean it up. 2, I would like to create 2 sections, one for travel and one for coaching, one for the Cool Girls Club. 3, I would like to write weekly blog articles. Yeah, so now I already have 3 action steps for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah. So that was my example. Cool. Is that clear?
That's great. Thanks. It makes sense.
Awesome. And like, we're all different. So obviously we'll have, you know, different end results and different weekly goals, but your weekly goals are meant to support your final monthly end results. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, please post your breakdowns, your end results by tomorrow evening so that we can jump right in. And that's it. I have nothing else to say. Any last minute questions?
No, none for me. But yeah, I'll definitely be posting some in today maybe or tomorrow.
Yeah, cool. And then let me know also your availability. You know, what day you'd like to have your weekly call for the next 4 weeks. Yeah.
Sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, it was great to see you, especially from all the way to the US. You know.
Yeah, that's all. Whereabouts in the US are you?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, lovely. I imagine the weather is a bit better than it is over here at the moment.
It's cold, but it's been very sunny. So it's actually a bit like London. It's,
oh, okay.
11, 12 degrees, but at least it's not raining. But next week it says it's gonna rain. So
cool.
It's like here as well. It's supposed to be crazy cold next week.
Yeah, winter is starting now. Yeah.
Sure.
Cool, guys. Well, it was great to see you. And if you have any questions, you can always text me and just ask me whatever you want to know. I'm gonna be doing a webinar, but I'm just gonna record it. I'm not really gonna have people on the webinar, but I want to do a webinar on limiting beliefs, because I think it's really interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's fascinating, actually, how the ego works and how it gets in the way and stops us from getting things done. And I think it's also useful for you guys to know a little bit. You know, it's not going to be like super detailed, because I won't have time, but I'd like to give you at least an overall view of the several limiting beliefs, and see which ones you relate to. And as you go along in the accountability structure, and as you start taking your actions, and as you start creating, you will actually notice your limiting beliefs, and you're going to be like, oh, fuck, oh, okay, yeah, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. Yeah, you have the practicality of the accountability structure, and then having the limiting beliefs, knowing about the limiting beliefs, you'll be able to observe them in your own life, and especially in other people's lives. I don't know if you live with family, but it's so much easier to pinpoint limiting beliefs on other people. And it's quite fun also. Cool, guys. Well, it was great to see you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll be posting the recording for those of you who want to listen to it again, and those who are not there. Cool.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.